Well, thank you for being here, gentlemen. Thank you and welcome to the Robotic Island for our first roundtable. Is it okay? Or should I move? Yes. It's not COVID, but everybody will get COVID at some point. So welcome to the Robotic Island for our first roundtable this morning. The agricultural robot revolution, challenges and opportunities for field crops. So every morning we will gather here for a panel discussion from 10:30 till 11:30. Well, rather 10:30 till 11:15, because then we'll take the questions from the huge audience that will be here every morning, hopefully. And then we'll have some pitch session. For this first roundtable, I'm really happy to welcome Sébastien Branche, Area Sales Manager at Ecorobotique, Simon Kuhl for Ailvo Merel Beke, Jeroen Wolters, co-founder of Smart Agri Technology, and Lars Stapel, Product Manager, Smart Farming and Mechanical Weeding at Gwerneland Group Benelux. So just a bit of context before we start our session. Field crop production, which encompasses the cultivation of cereals, oilseeds, pulses, and other large-scale crops, is facing today a series of major challenges. These challenges have an impact on productivity, profitability, sustainability, and of course, food safety. So in this context, agricultural robotic appears to be one of the solutions available for farmers today. This roundtable aims to understand the impact of this revolution on production methods and, more specifically, the contributions of robotics. It also aims to identify the challenges that manufacturers must meet today to respond effectively to farmers' need. I want to start this discussion with Sébastien Branche. With you, we're going to have the point of view of a mature manufacturer. Can we first look back a little, and can you tell us about your company's history and the different developments of this company?
Hello. Ecorobotics has been founded in 2014 with the desire to bring the robotics for sustainable agriculture. It started with 2 autonomous robots, already with the artificial intelligence to detect every plant, the crop and the weeds, and to spray the chemical just on the right plant, so the right quantity at the right place. It was very interesting technology, but it was not going fast enough on autonomous robots. So in 2019, the founders decided to go on the machine behind the tractor. So they put 3 robots to get a 6-meter robots, 6-meter sprayer behind the tractor. Then we can go faster and do more hectares per hour for a cheaper price.
Oops. According to you, Sébastien, what are the main challenges that manufacturers like you must meet to respond effectively to farmers' needs today?
Even the best technology has to adapt to the farming condition. We are working with environment condition changing every day. If it rains, it's getting wet, and we need to adapt. And the crops are changing every day also. So the companies have to be very flexible and adapt to the field condition. And something very important is to find the right size of the machine to adapt to all different sizes of the farms.
So what's new in terms of R&D at your company today? What direction are you looking at?
Today, we already have 150 machines running on the field.
Okay.
So the machine is now very stable. And the R&D is working more on new algorithm for new crops and new function to go on larger crops and make the machine running on bigger farms.
And what is your current autonomous offer?
So our machine is not autonomous for the movement, but it's behind the tractor. So it can be attached to a standard tractor, even a really old tractor, but also on an autonomous tractor or autonomous robot.
And why would you say that cereal is a very particular market to address today?
Compared to today, we are working mostly on vegetable crops or on grassland. But for cereals, the size of the farms are really bigger, so they need a machine that can go faster for a cheaper price because the margin is really low.
What is, Sebastian, one last question, what is the benefit, according to you, of a precision spraying compared to a mechanical robot today?
All the different techniques can complement each other. When it's wet, you cannot go with the mechanical weeding, so you can work with the ARA, the spot spraying. And it's really hard with mechanics to go inside the row. So with spot spraying, you can go inside the row between the plants. And it's complementary to work with different techniques to then we can reduce the quantity by more than 90% of the dose of chemical.
Make the best of it. All right, thank you very much, Sebastian. I would like to hear Simon now. Simon Kool from Ilvo Merelbeke. What is Ilvo? Can you introduce your company, please?
Yes, Ilvo is an independent research institute affiliated with the Flemish government. We have a few different units, and we are active in agriculture, fisheries, and food research.
And so you are developing a robot prototype for large crops. Could you present this?
Yes, so we are here today with our Just E electrical tractor platform. It's a tractor that was modified from a diesel version to electrical version, and we also have automated it through integration of our robotic software framework, a framework that was developed already before developing this tractor. For other applications, other robotic prototypes that we built in the past.
What is its main advantage and functionalities?
So with this platform, we wanted to show what is the possibility of using an existing frame, an existing tractor, and modifying it to make it autonomous, since tractors have been around for decades already. They have a lot of optimizations in them already, and we wanted to make use of all these features, the hydraulic control that's on there, the steering, of course, the PTO functionality, the 3-point hitch in the front and in the back. So use those appliances to drive existing machines, and of course also new machines, as the colleagues here present, to make a difference in practice in terms of efficiency or sustainability.
According to you, Simon, what are the farmers actually and currently looking for in terms of autonomous solutions?
In terms of autonomous solutions, I think the farmer is mainly looking for something that works and that is proven already. The Flemish farmer, if I can be that specific, is a little bit more hesitant towards new technology in comparison with, for example, Dutch farmers. So they are not the early adopters of technology, as they would say in economics. But once it's proven enough, they tend to invest and make their investments to improve efficiency or sustainability of their farm. So that's the current situation, let's say, in Flanders. Yeah.
Another part of your job, Simon, is to also look for alternative solutions to reduce plant protection. Can you develop on that?
Yes, so of course, as a research institute here, we do a lot of research projects, projects together with other international partners, but also with technology companies and farmers. And in those projects, we look towards, for example, optimizing the use of plant protection products. For example, by using spot spraying applications, but also look towards the already existing technologies that have been around for already also some decades. In the biological farming area, let's say, or sector, and optimize them to fit better on the use case of conventional farming. Some examples are, for example, the thermal weed control using flames, open flame. So that's a very usable solution in practice, but it can be optimized to let it work only on the spots where it's necessary, and apply specific technology to it to be able to use it site specifically. Yeah.
Would you say that research is promising towards plant protection today?
Yes, certainly. We have on one hand we have a big challenge coming towards us, of course, with the farm to fork strategy. We need to reduce the amount of plant protection products, but of course we have let's say some revolution in technology development at the moment, both on terms of sensors, both on terms of actuators, robotics, etc. But also towards new research areas such as the use of artificial intelligence to process that data and to make smarter decisions, or to reduce even more products.
One last question, Simon. How about the opportunities for the Flemish agricultural sector in that context?
Yes, so I think there is a lot of potential for the Flemish farmers in that. There's a clear need for them to see the technology, of course, in working, and the reason why we are active in that as a research institute is because we believe in the use of technology as one of the tools to counter, let's say, or to reduce the amount of plant protection product usage, of course. And I think by encouraging the farmer to work together with us or with our partners in projects, we can apply really their tested knowledge, their knowledge towards the new developments, and take also their considerations into account in the development of new technologies. We don't only want to import existing solutions from the broad countries, but we also want to listen to our farmers and listen to their specific needs, and translate that towards specific implementations for technology companies in Flanders. And that's where we can assist in, of course, because we talk both languages, from the technological side and from the agricultural side.
And the research. And of course, you're here.
Yes, so we have here a booth indeed.
Right. Okay, so you're available if we need to ask any question. Thank you very much. Jeroen, could you present your company also? What is what is it you do?
I am Jeroen Wolters. I am one of the co-founders of Smart Agri
You need to stick the mic closer. Yeah.
Yes,
perfect.
I am one of the co-founders of Smart Agri Technology.
Mm-hmm.
We are offering precision farming equipment in the Netherlands, and our main focus is to speed up the adoption of that technologies for farmers, and that's going quite well. We are also a Agribex dealer, and that's going from 11 this year to 90 machines in the Netherlands for coming season.
Okay.
So farmers are more than happy and welcome to enjoy the new technology.
So what specific tasks do you think should be done with a robot today?
It's a good question.
Thank you.
I think it's mainly for sustainability reasons, and because of that, more efficiency for farmers. So using the spraying liquids they have more efficient, and also that they do not hit the crop, and also for reducing the labor. If you are going to look ahead in the future, if we are saying 10-15 years, a lot of qualified employees are not available anymore, and that's from detecting diseases to just removing the weeds.
So which robotic solution have you used yet? What is your feedback on that? Benefits, difficulties?
We have used a lot, the Roboti, also the Exceed, and also the Agribex.
Mm-hmm.
Agribex is doing quite well because they have a solution for a huge problem in the Netherlands, the volunteer potatoes, and farmers are more than happy with that. Then you see the roboty, that they have actually a really good planning tool for part planning of the fields. You can do everything with it, and also um, yeah, do that on a way that you can actually see when the machine is ready. And we also did work once with the Exceed, and they are more for the more heavy duty jobs that farmers are actually doing with the tractors. And I think they are all on the right way to go, but some are more ahead of the game than other companies.
So, what advice could you give to farmers hesitating to use robotics today?
I think the message I want to say, it's more to the manufacturers, make it more easy to use.
Because they're not.
Sometimes not. Sometimes not. No,
Okay.
no. But you have to go to the tractor, and if you have a smart implement behind it, you have to push some buttons, and then it must be ready. And you do not want to go back into the office to recreate a prescription map or something like that. That's not what is going to happen, and it's also being researched. 97% of the Dutch farmers are not using prescription maps, and I think that's not a good development, but that's also a message to all manufacturers, make it more easy to use.
Apart from that, overall, in general, what are you expecting from manufacturers to meet the needs of the farmers in terms of robotics? So make it easier to use. Anything else? Training?
Step out of the office, go to the farmers, ask them what do you need, how do you operate, and how can I make your job easier. And that's all needed because they have less employees to do it in the future.
So we'll ask Lars what he thinks about this. Lars, hey, hello, good morning. Thank you for
Hello.
being here. Could you present smart farming to us? What are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm working at Kevenland Group Benelux. I'm the sales company. We are part of Kevenland Group. Kevenland Group is wide known for a wide range of implements. We are since 2012 part of Kubota. So in a way, Kubota is our mother company. What am I doing? I'm busy with the electronics we have in our range and our mechanical weeding implements, which we purchased this year, a manufacturer, and now we implemented it at our dealers. So in a way, that's what I'm doing at Kevenland Group.
So what are your expectations in terms of robotics today for what specific activity?
Yeah, I think Jeroen already said a lot of things regarding this. What I see is more let's say the labor shortage will be on short term very important for the farmers. I think especially the most boring jobs, let's put it like boring, power harrowing in front of your potato planting, weeding really slow in between the rows, those kind of things, the more easy jobs. Also, that is more to legislation, because you need legislation to be adjusted if you want to use robotic vehicles. But if you can be on the field at the same time that the robot is doing a different job, you can usually run it. So I see that as the most potential for now.
Have you already been using a robot? Which one? And what is your feedback on that?
Jeroen is also been using the roboty, Agribex roboty. We have used a Kevenland seeder in between. They had to adjust it to fit in the machine. But what we saw then is it's not a problem we usually encounter, because the way the roboty is turning is different than a normal tractor.
Okay.
And then our task controller thought it was driving backwards. And then it will not start seeding because it's driving backwards. Then they had to go physically to the machine and then press it to go into the other direction. And then we saw that we need to have a tool maybe to even go from a distance to the terminal, but also that we might have to adjust the inputs or be more compliant to work with these kind of vehicles.
So what would you say is the farmer's expectation today in terms of robotic? Your general point of view on that?
Yeah, well, but I think they're trying to search for something that can replace their employee directly. And I think especially if you go fully robotic or autonomous, you cannot expect that. It's still some techniques can be, of course, applied quite fast. But I think if you go to a full autonomous operation, you cannot do that. At least in my point of view. You have to start with it, and you have to get familiar with it. Like Jeroen was saying, you have to get experience. You have to get trust in the technology to work for you, and basically like that you can trust it, and then you can expand further and go further into your operations, make more autonomous vehicles.
Would you say that you also need some training? Is this essential?
Yes, for sure, and that's I think also why there's a need for companies or people that can help the farmers to implement this. Of course, we want to make it easier as manufacturers, but like you say, for example, the prescription maps, what we see is especially different challenges with different manufacturers. Connectivity is the main thing in the game now, that we try to be connected with all machines on one farm. Especially European farmers have different brands, so we have to be connected together. And I think there you need some companies that can help the farmer to basically do this for them. Of course, the farmer in the end has to do it, but he has to do a lot of things, so he needs some help from somewhere.
Right. I want to ask the question to everybody, all the whole panel here. How about fully autonomous robots today? What is your point of view? You know,
I first.
Yeah.
So some are ready and some are not ready, but the easy part is the autonomous vehicle, but then the machine behind the vehicle has to be smarter than other equipment, because you cannot see what is happening, let's say with a reader, if it is reading correctly or is it not reading correctly.
Right.
So I think the state is going forward. We get more sensors to measure if it is all going correctly. So I think the time pad is being good. And I think about 10 years, it will be not a question.
Another 10 years, you think?
In 10 years, every farmer can use autonomous vehicles. I think that's part of the game. And if you are looking to milking robots like that's also a traject. It has been 30 years since the first milking robot is being implemented. And now it is 2023, and not every farmer is using it yet. So it's a long game, but we will succeed.
Get there.
I think. Yes.
Sebastian, do you think in 10 years all the farmers will be using autonomous robot?
Yeah, for sure. Now the technology are really stable, and the companies are ready to sell it and to do the service. It's very important to have good importers with knowledge about that kind of technology. But for sure, for many tasks, not for everything. It won't be everywhere, but maybe on every farm they will get 1-2 robots for different tasks.
Simon, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with what is said here. So I think there's a big revolution coming. And in terms of technology, the technology is there. The sensors are there, the actuators are there, the machines perform. But some maturity is, of course, needed as well to get the real revolution going. And the more people working with these machines, the greater the market, the more research potential as well. And the faster these technologies will go. More and more companies will come, of course, and also bigger companies will invest more in this technology. So I see a bright future for the robots here in Flanders. Indeed.
But it also means less human skills?
Yes, of course, but that's actually at the moment, as was said here before, quite a problem for the agricultural sector. So it's also the case in industry, the dull, dirty and dangerous jobs and the 3Ds. It's very difficult to find people for that. Nobody wants to work all day in the wet and in the cold anymore. So replace those tasks by automation. I think that is
the right timing.
The right timing indeed, and that will create, of course, other jobs, because all those robots will have to be maintained. And in research and development, there's a lot to do as well. So it will make a shift in in the jobs, of course. But I think it's a good thing that the very labor-intensive jobs are replaced with the robots.
Autonomous. Lars, in which way do you expect that Verneland will implement autonomous machines combined with traditional?
Yeah, so Kverneland, of course, does not have autonomous vehicles. We are part of Kubota, which presented also on the Agritechnica a autonomous tractor. Of course, as Kverneland Group, we are a little bit relying on Kubota to make this, but also for us, as implement manufacturer, we are more looking towards being compliant with TIM, for example, to steer or give signals to the robot at least that what it is doing is the correct job. Especially if you replace a human with a robot, sometimes you have problems, for example, with blockage. Let's say the seeder is not seeding correctly, that kind of things. So we maybe have to adjust and add sensors, like he was saying, and that kind of things. We have to look in what do we need, and I think also for robot manufacturers, we also have to have more an industry standard on how we communicate with an implement, because the implement will be the main thing for the future and not the thing pulling it. So the tractor is now still central on the farm, but the implements are more important in the future because they do actually the job on the field. And for us there, we want to be as much compliant as possible so we can adjust. Of course, we have to adjust machines based on the different working widths of the robots. We have large operations, we have small operations, so we have different challenges there. But I think for us that is the most important thing to focus on.
All right, I'm turning to the audience to see if there are any questions for these gentlemen. I know it's early in the morning, but do you have any questions to address to any of the panelists? Yes, I'll bring a mic to you. Hello.
Yeah, where do you see the immediate demand for robotic and autonomous vehicles? In other words, which farmers are shouting at you now for a machine, and what do they want to do with that machine?
Lars?
Yeah, I can maybe elaborate real
Sure.
quick. I think especially the more professional farmers, let's say not maybe the family-owned farmers, I think the more bigger ones with more hectares, which have challenges with labor, for example, with the boring jobs, let's put it like that. So power harrowing in front of your potato plant, or maybe rotary tilling your grass field, that kind of things. Real autonomous vehicles, I might have to ask my other panelist. He probably knows better than me about autonomous vehicles, but for implements, I think those kind of things are most important.
I think it's also how to build a company future-proof. If you have a son who wants to go behind you to go ahead with the farm, he wants to have a future-proof company, and I think that's the main cause. Our employees are also buying the Agribex. That's because they want to be sustainable, so future-proof, and they want to have their son involved in also that project. And that's what we are seeing. Mostly the son is driving the machine and they are happy, and so they are building a future-proof company. And I think that's the main cause. Farmers are eager to shift to autonomous vehicles or smart implements, or just is solving problems from the future.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's also a shift indeed towards away from plant protection products, of course, and that then you need alternative methods. For example, lasers or thermal weed control, precision and mechanical weed control, or precision spraying with alternative products, for example. Those are all applications that require a lot more labor than the traditional spraying machine that covers a hectare in a few minutes with a large working width. So that will be a large driving factor towards implementation in practice. practice as well. Because the working width and the speed is not comparable to the current state of the art.
Does it answer your question?
Yes, I just wanted to come back to the first gentleman. He said boring jobs, and I think you mentioned a couple of I just wondered if you could define a little bit more closely what you would consider to be a boring job on a farm today.
Repetitive, maybe, rather than boring.
Especially slow driving, not a lot of things happening, smaller implement. So of course, if you have a big implement, you have to look at a lot of screens if it is going well, such as planting and seeding is important, but more the rotary tilling, power harrowing, that kind of jobs, which are basically, you just have to drive in a straight line and you have to sit on the tractor so the tractor is driving, but you're not really doing that much.
Thank you for your question, gentlemen. Other questions? And of course, everybody will be here until Saturday on their own booth. And we'll see some of you guys for a pitches session a little bit later this morning. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for opening this first session this morning. Thank you for attending it.